Please take a seat. Honourable Premier, Deputy Premier, Ministers and Members of the House of Assembly and Senate, Cabinet Secretary, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to welcome you to Government House today for the swearing in and appointment of new ministers. Ministerial appointments are made by me as Governor, acting on the advice of the Premier under Section 58 of the Constitution. Accordingly, in a moment, I will be pleased to invite in turn Mr. Curtis Dickinson MP to swear the oath as incoming Minister of Finance, followed by the Honourable DaSilva MP to swear the oath as incoming Minister of Tourism and Transport. Following the swearing in and formal signing of the instruments of appointment, I will be pleased to invite the Honourable Premier to offer his remarks, after which each of the new ministers may wish to say a few words. As Governor, I look forward to working with each of the new ministers and wish them every success in carrying out their duties and responsibilities. Let me now invite Mr. Dickinson to come forward to swear the oaths.
I, Curtis L. Dickinson, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, her heirs and successors, according to law, so help me God. I, Curtis L. Dickinson, being appointed a minister, do swear that I will do the best of my judgment at all times when so required, freely give my counsel and advice to the Governor, or any other person for the time being lawfully performing the functions of that office for the good management of the public affairs of Bermuda. And I do further swear that I will not on any account, at any time whatsoever, disclose the counsel, advice, opinion, or vote of any particular minister or junior minister, and that I will not accept with the authority of the Cabinet, and to such extent as may be required for the good management of the affairs of Bermuda, directly or indirectly reveal the business or proceedings of the Cabinet or the nature or contents of any documents communicated to me as a minister or any matter coming to my knowledge in my capacity as such, and that in all things I will be a true and faithful minister, so help me God.
Congratulations, Minister.
Thank you very much.
Okay. First page and second page, yeah. I, Zane Joseph Stephen DaSilva, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, her heirs, successors, according to law, so help me God. I, Zane Joseph Stephen DaSilva, being appointed a minister, do swear that I will, to the best of my judgment, at all times, when so required, freely give my counsel and advice to the Governor or any other person for the time being lawfully performing the functions of that office, for the good management of public affairs of Bermuda, and I do further swear that I will not on any account, at any time whatsoever, disclose the counsel, advice, opinion, or vote of any particular minister or junior minister, and that I will not accept with the authority of Cabinet, and to such extent as may be required for the good management of the affairs of Bermuda, directly or indirectly reveal the business or proceedings of the Cabinet or the nature of the contents of any documents communicated to me as minister, or any matter coming to my knowledge in my capacity as such, and that all things I will be true and faithful minister. So help me God.
Congratulations, Minister.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, and thank you for coming. Your Excellency, cabinets and parliamentary colleagues, party executive, family, and friends. In just over a week, we will start a new legislative session with the presentation of this government's second throne speech. After almost 16 months in office, we have accomplished much of what we set out to do, but there remains plenty of work to be done. Let me first extend my sincere thanks to former Minister Michael Weeks, who brought a valued empathy to the former Ministry of Social Development and Sports. His commitment will continue to serve the country and the party well. Today represents an opportunity to approach the task ahead with a team with whom the people of Bermuda can continue to have confidence. I am pleased to welcome Minister DaSilva back into the Cabinet and look forward to his characteristic hard work and commitment in any area that he serves. I wish to also thank the Financial Secretary, the Assistant Financial Secretaries, and the entire Ministry of Finance team for their support, professionalism, and expert advice during my tenure as Minister. Special thanks go to Junior Minister Wayne Ferbert, who has gone above and beyond in his role. I have asked him to remain in the Ministry of Finance for the time being to assist the transition of the new minister and to work through the upcoming budget cycle. I am confident that this same team in the Ministry of Finance will be able to advise and support Minister Dickinson as he assumes responsibility for this most critical of ministries in government. Curtis is a strong addition to the front bench team and brings a wealth of experience in this portfolio. Concurrently with these additions to Cabinet, I have taken the opportunity to realign some departments to better fit with the policy aims and objectives of the government. These include the Department of National Drug Control and the Department of Child and Family Services will move to the Ministry of Legal Affairs. Minister Levita Fogo will now be responsible for labor and workforce development in the Ministry of Labor, Community Affairs, and Sports. The Department of Energy joins the Ministry of Home Affairs under Minister Walter Aban, while the Department of Financial Assistance moves to the Ministry of Health. The Department of Immigration will now come under the Minister of National Security, while responsibility for ICT policy and innovation and information and digital technologies moves to the Office of the Premier within the Cabinet Office. Minister Walton Brown now assumes responsibility as the Minister for the Cabinet Office. To reflect the importance of communication, consultation, and public engagement in governance in this modern era, I have invited Minister Jamal Simmons to focus on these matters as Minister without portfolio. Minister Diallo Rabane will retain responsibility for education as he focuses on the important task of education reform, while Minister David Birch will continue as Minister of Public Works and the ministry's configuration will not change. Prior to this change, there were 11 ministries within the government, and with this reconfiguration, there will now be 10 ministries. One final change of note, as there is a constitutional limit on the amount of ministers and junior ministers that can be appointed from the House of Assembly, Junior Minister Tanae Ferbert will continue to advocate for the disabled, but will not have the title of Junior Minister. She has done excellent work in this role, and I look forward to her continued advice. The government set out a progressive agenda in its 2017 election platform, and having won the mandate of the people, we continue on that path of change towards building that better and fairer Bermuda that we promised the people of this country. And now I'll invite the new ministers to say a few words.
Yeah, you can go first.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Premier Burt, Cabinet Ministers, parliamentary colleagues, friends and family, good afternoon. I'd like to say that I'm happy to be able to finally speak publicly about this appointment. It has probably been one of Bermuda's worst-kept secrets. Speculation on my role in this government began on May 4th upon the announcement of my candidacy for the June by-election and has continued since then unabated. Let me begin by thanking the Premier for the opportunity to serve as Bermuda's next Minister of Finance. I'm truly humbled by this appointment and his confidence in me. This appointment is the culmination of almost 3 decades of work in the financial services industry in New York, London, Charlotte, and Bermuda. It is also the realization of the dreams of many people who have supported me as I progressed from elementary school at West End Primary on to Berkeley, to college at Morehouse College, and then finally graduate school at Columbia. And it is a validation of all of the sacrifices that have been made to invest in me. I take on this role with eyes wide open. I am fully aware that our country faces a number of pressing challenges, and I look forward to collaborating with the various stakeholders in our economy to move the interest of Bermuda forward. I'd like to take this opportunity to again thank the voters of Constituency 25 for their support. I pledged during the course of my campaign to work hard to earn their votes, and I commit to continuing to work hard in my new role to represent their interest. I would like to acknowledge my family, my wife Lisa, our 3 children, Samuel, John, and Elise, my dad, my stepmom, my stepfather, my siblings, who are all here today. Sorry. I know what I wrote. Thanks to all of you for your love and unwavering support. I would also like to acknowledge my mother, the late Sheila Dickinson Claridge, who was and still remains one of my biggest supporters. There isn't a week that goes by when someone who knew my mom and recalled her talking about her son, who doesn't stop me to tell me how proud she was and how proud she would be of me. Thanks, Mom. I'd like to conclude my remarks with a quote from Nelson Mandela that I've found to be particularly inspiring, words that I seek to have guide my life in public service. What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead. It is my goal in the exercise of my duties as Minister of Finance to be someone who makes a positive difference in the lives of all of Bermuda's people. Thank you.
Where's your speech saying?
Pardon?
Where's your speech?
Premier Zaxon, where's my speech? As most of you know, I've been here several times over the last 11 years. So a prepared speech I do not have, Premier. But I would just like to thank the Premier for giving me the opportunity to come back to Cabinet. Most of you know that I'm a little bit hyper. I look forward to putting that energy to work in both ministries. I too would like to thank my family for all the sacrifices they have made over the years. And when I informed my wife that the Premier had sort of said, look, this is where you need to be, she said, oh my gracious, okay, Zane, all right, I'm ready. So as long as I have her support and the support of my family, I feel I can do anything. So I thank them. I'd like to thank my teams, both in my former constituency, Constituency 30, and my present team in Constituency 29, who work so very hard. I have energy, but they have lots of energy too. So I will look forward to putting that energy into both these ministries, and I will look forward to all of your support. And my door is always open. I'm happy to take any advice from anyone, anywhere. So I look forward to serving the people of Bermuda and making these ministries work for the people of Bermuda. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, tea and coffee is served.
Okay, all right.